Today we're going to be looking at probably one of the strangest Plants vs. Zombies plushes that I'll ever look at on this channel. As well, I've looked at some pretty strange Plants vs. Zombies plushes in the past, but today we're going to be looking at by far the strangest one that I've ever seen. And well, not only is this plush extremely weird, it's also extremely obscure and rare, and well, I didn't actually know about it until recently. So yeah, with all that said, welcome to a look at the Plants vs. Zombies Penholder plush set. Starting out with the first plush, we have the peashooter. Now obviously these plushes aren't meant to look accurate to the game at all, so I'm not going to be basing them off accuracy because that would be unfair because they're obviously meant to be pen holders. But yeah, instead I'm just going to be looking at the overall design of the plush instead of basing it off accuracy. But yeah, one thing that's actually interesting about this pen holder is that it actually does have a leaf base as well. It has 3 leaves sticking out of the side of it on basically every side. And well, the leaves on the leaf base are a bit small, but they actually do look pretty good, and they're probably based off of the links and plushes. As well, they have a very similar looking shape on the end of the leaves, and well, they're kind of a similar shape in general, but just smaller. And well, across the bottom of the pen holder, it actually says the words Plants vs. Zombies in a purple color. And well, this is actually ironed on, so it could get damaged pretty easily, and another pretty strange thing about it is that a lot of the times it's off-centered. As well, instead of saying it straight across the plush, it actually just says it to the left side most of the time, and sometimes to the right side. So yeah, from the pictures that I've seen of this plush, which there aren't too many, it always just seems to be off-centered for whatever reason. It could have purposely be done like that, but I don't really know why they would do that as well, but just make the plush a bit weirder looking. And well, just above the words, for some reason there's like this lime green plush material that's stitched onto the side for whatever reason. I don't know why that's there, it just could be there to give the pen holder a bit more color instead of just being a fully dark green, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense at all. But it is most likely just there for a little bit of extra design, so it's not just a solid dark green color and actually has a bit of light green, which is actually a pretty good detail in that case. And well, the pea shooter's head is nicely stitched on, and well, it actually looks pretty good in my opinion. And it actually has a lump on the top of the head to represent where the leaf would actually be. So yeah, it overall looks pretty good, and they added a pretty good amount of details onto it, especially for a pea shooter. And well, the inside of the pen holder is obviously just hollow, and well, it's a fully lime green color, and it has cardboard on the bottom of it to make it keep its shape. But yeah, if you want any of the plushes in the set, you could look on eBay or Zanu, but they're all extremely rare, and you basically have no chance of finding it, as well I could barely even find any pictures of these plushes. But I would definitely recommend getting them if you could find them for a reasonable price as well. They are just really funny looking. Next up we have the sunflower. Now this is basically an exact copy of the pea shooter except it has a sunflower face stitched onto it. And well, I mean this plush is literally basically the exact same. There's only really 2 changes about it. First off, the weird lime green thing in the middle of the pen holder is just slightly longer for whatever reason, as well the pea shooter is actually folded, but this one isn't. And well, obviously it has the sunflower's face stitched onto it. But yeah, literally everything else about this plush is the exact same. I mean the leaf base, the iron-on for the Plants vs. Zombies logo, and basically everything else except for those 2 details. And well, the sunflower's face actually just doesn't really look that good at all in my opinion. As well, I feel like the eyes and the mouth are just way too close together, and also they're just way too small for the size of the face. And I also feel like the petals are also just kind of weird looking as well. They're just way too small and wide. So yeah, I think they could have done a better job stitching on the sunflower's face, and also they could have made it a bit more unique instead of just being the exact same colors and the exact same design as the pea shooter. And just like the pea shooter, there's also cardboard in the bottom of it to make it keep its shape. If you want it, you can look on eBay or Zanu, but it's extremely rare. Moving on, we have the squash. Now, the squash's leaf base is the exact same as the pea shooter and sunflowers, except it's a lime green color instead of a dark green color, obviously, as well. That's the color that matches squash. But there is one slight detail in this plush that doesn't make sense about the leaf base, is that, well, squash doesn't have a leaf base, but they still added it on this plush for whatever reason. So yeah, one flaw they had in this set with every single plant is they all gave them leaf bases when plushes like squash doesn't have a leaf base on it, as well squash doesn't have a leaf base obviously. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the only squash plush that was ever made to have a leaf base, so yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. So yeah, besides that one really funny detail that isn't supposed to be there, the rest of the plush looks fine. The Plants vs. Zombies logo is the exact same, except it's just a lighter purple color and it looks more to be a pink. And while the squash's face is very clearly stolen from the links and design as well, that's basically what every single squash bootleg design used at the time. As well, since it was the most popular and the most accurate looking at the time, every single company used it, and well, I think they copied it pretty well. And well, on the top of the squash plush, it actually has a stem, which is pretty nicely stuffed. But yeah, it's really funny to see a squash plush with a leaf base, so yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. If you want it, you could look on eBay or Zanyu. Next up, we have the jalapeno. Now, the leaf base used on the jalapeno is the exact same as the other plants, except it's obviously just red. But once again, just like the squash, there's a slight problem with the leaf base, being as well, it's not supposed to exist once again. And well, just like the squash plush in the set, this is probably the only jalapeno plush that was ever made to have a leaf base. And well, with these plushes having leaf base, I really wonder what the designers were thinking and if they even knew anything about how the characters in Plants vs. Zombies looked. As well, anyone that has ever played Plants vs. Zombies, and even people that haven't that have just seen pictures of plants, obviously know that jalapeno is not supposed to have a leaf base. But yeah, the leaf base isn't the only really strange looking part of the plush, as well. For some reason, the face they used on this plush was based off of the bootleg design. As well, instead of basing it off of the Langston design, it seems that they based it off of the bootleg, as well. The mouth basically uses the exact same color as the bootleg, being a brownish color. And also, the teeth on this plush are just way too small, and same thing with the eyes. And well, the Plants vs. Zombies letters are a white color instead of a pink color or a purple color like the others. But yeah, just like the squash, it has a stem on the top of it, basically in the exact same spot, and well, the inside of it's a dark green color. But yeah, this plush definitely looks pretty weird as well, but uses the wrong face for the jalapeno, and obviously it has a leaf base, which is just really funny. Moving on to the next plush, we have the basic zombie. Now, this plush actually has legs instead of a leaf base, and well, with how this set has been going so far, I actually wouldn't be surprised if they made a leaf base onto the zombie, but thankfully they didn't. But yeah, the shoes used on the zombie look inaccurate as well. They're a fully black color, and on the sole of the shoes they use is a white color. And well, the zombie's legs are really understuffed by the looks of it, as well they're just really small pieces of plush material. And well, the shorts that are barely even seen on this plush seem to just be made out of the same exact material. And well, for the coat on this plush, the tie and the folds on the shirt are represented by iron-on material. So they could actually get damaged pretty easily. And well, same thing with the Plants vs. Zombies words on this plush, but instead of having Plants vs. Zombies, it just says Plants Zombies. As well, since this plush was actually wearing a coat, they had nowhere to put the word versus, so yeah, it just says Plants Zombie. And well, honestly, I think it would have just been better to leave out the words entirely and just make it have a normal coat. But yeah, it does make the plush look pretty funny as well, but doesn't even have the word versus on it, so it just looks like Plant Zombie. But yeah, the face used on this plush is very clearly stolen from Langston's design, except it's just slightly lower quality on the embroidery, and it just doesn't look as good. And well, the arms are sticking out of the bottom of the head on this plush, and for some reason they're standing up. I don't know if they're just really well stuffed or have like something like a metal wire inside of them as well, but I have no idea how they're actually standing up like that. But yeah, there's most likely just something inside of the hands keeping them to be like that. But yeah, the hands are basically the exact same as a normal Langston zombie, and the coat used on this plush is the exact same material as the rest of it. And well, the inside of the penholder is just the exact same gray color used on the rest of the zombie's face. But yeah, this plush by far uses the most details in the set as well as the most detailed character, so obviously it'll have the most details on it. But yeah, the set is just really strange, especially because, well, it's just a really unique concept, and it has a few funny errors, like plants having a leaf base when they're not supposed to be there. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe, and comment down below which plush in it is your favorite, and yeah, have a great day.